Hi friends, it is Wednesday and in Israel it is now Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is the Day of Atonement, and everybody in theory is spending time in the synagogue fasting and making amends for all the sins that they've sinned throughout the year. The 10 days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are called the terrible days, and everybody should be spending time trying to make amends and atoning for all the sins that they've committed. There are two types of sins: sins against the place, or what is referred to as sins against God, and sins against a fellow human being. And of course, the sins against the fellow human being are way more serious than those against God, because God will always forgive you. However, the person needs to ask for forgiveness of the other person who he has sinned against in order to be forgiven later on by God as well. So in Israel, during Yom Kippur, there's a tradition that nobody drives and nobody listens to the radio or TV. In fact, the radio stations and the TV channels are all blacked out for the duration of Yom Kippur, and people supposedly are fasting. The airspace of Israel is closed. It's the one day of the year that the airport is closed. And because of that, everybody goes out to the streets with their bicycles, little kids in the middle of the street, and you can see that over here. This is one of the not so busy streets in the city of Kfar Saba, but I'm going to go to the main street of the town just so that you can see how everybody is riding along, walking in the street without any fear of being run over. The few vehicles that do happen to go are the emergency forces and so on. So basically, you could see this, and I'm going to post it soon. And tomorrow, I have a real treat for you, because I'm going to be interviewing a friend of mine that also got the equivalent of the Medal of Honor during the Yom Kippur War in 1973. And so I'll be interviewing him. He'll be telling us our story, his story. And actually, he considers Yom Kippur to be his second birthday because he got his life. Anyway, keep on watching, stay tuned, and look us up tomorrow. It's going to be something very worth seeing, I suspect. So just so that you have an idea, Let me flip this so that you can see me as well. It's kind of dark out in the streets, but here I am regardless. And let's see how good this camera really is. I'm very pleased with this new toy that I had purchased. It's going to help me transmit to you and do a much better job in showing you a lot of things of TourMe app. So let's see what is happening here in the street as well. There you go, see? People actually leave the bicycles and tricycles and you name it in the middle of the street. Kids are running. It's an interesting sight that most people never get to see in their hometowns. Here we see little kids on their balancing bikes. And it is quite awesome. The people, the elders are coming out of the synagogue and going home. This is 25 hours of full fasting. No food nor water for those that do fast. You can see that the traffic lights are still on. But of course, it is of no relevance. In 1973, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Yom Kippur, we were actually attacked by Egypt and Syria. That caught us literally with our pants down. They caught us by surprise and took us quite a few days before Israel could stop the oncoming attack, regroup, and retake whatever land that we had lost. It was a difficult war for us and one that caused for heavy losses to Israel. 2,866 soldiers lost their lives. Many remained with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and it was a war that really changed things. It was the first time that we were caught by surprise. Many things have changed since. There's high alert, and in spite of things looking very loose and relaxed, there are tensions, and our borders and sensitive spots are in high alert. And it's sort of like a dissonance between what we see here and the significance of this day, and of course the trauma that we all carry from 73. Those of us that have lived through this, it has changed many things here. All right, everybody. So this is how Yom Kippur Eve looks in Israel. This is the town of Kfar Saba, but all of the Jewish towns around Israel sort of look like this, with everybody congregating in the streets and riding bicycles and so on. In the mixed cities, it's a little bit problematic because the Arab population doesn't feel the need to not ride, and causes for some friction. So that's it for now, friends. I'm gonna be signing off, and I wish you a very pleasant evening, and see you tomorrow. We actually wish in 10 days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur for good signing in the Book of Life. And now we actually wish for the end of the good signing in the Book of Life. And the belief is that at the closing of Yom Kippur, well, they blow the shofar, the ram's horn, so as to tear open the heavens so that the prayers could ascend up to the heavens. And at the closing of Yom Kippur, it is decided who shall live and who shall die during the upcoming year. So, end of good signing to you all, and see you tomorrow. Bye from Tzvi and Turmiat.